Wiring a 400 amp residential service looks simple until you realize a minor length or torque mistake on your parallel conductors runs can create unbalanced load currents and fail your roughing code inspection. In this step-by-step masterclass, I'm breaking down exactly how to mount, wire, and land your heavy parallel feeds inside the 400 amp main disconnect switch from start to finish. I'll show you how to securely land your phase conductors, isolate your neutral and ground path cleanly, and pass your inspection perfectly. Let's head straight over to the enclosure layout. When it comes to your 400 amp service, the code requires that you have parallel runs. Parallel runs ensure that your service is going to work accordingly and it's going to perform fine. Without parallel runs, your service is not going to work according to the code. So running your parallel runs simply means that both cables has to match up to be the same. So what does that mean? That simply means that your two cables that you're going to be pulling in for your service, in this case, is going to be the exact same length coming from hydro. Once it gets to the meter base, you have to make sure that you have the same length of cable going into your disconnect. That's what parallel runs simply means. So without having the same identical runs, you're risking the chance of your electrical system not working to code. If you also double check the code book requires that parallel runs be the same identical runs. It states it in the code book. Therefore, following the code rules will always benefit you when it comes to your inspection. So make sure that you always double check your code book before you start your job. The key to passing your inspection when it comes to installing your main disconnect is to make sure that your bounding and grounding is separated and also your neutral is labeled. Identify with white tape. As you can see, coming into your main disconnect, your line is going to come in from the top. Reason being, when it comes to your service installation, your line and load cannot touch each other. Very important. You also have to make sure that if you're using tech cable, you're going to be grounding off also your ground clamps and so on. Very important. Also, you're going to make sure that your cables are the same length. Both sets of cables, your feeder cables has to be the same length in order to pass your inspection. So basically what I'm going to be doing here is installing my cables according to the code. I'm going to also identify my white cables, which is right now they're going to be black cables, and in order to identify my cables, I have to identify my neutrals. I have to simply use the white cape like it states in the code book. Very important. Your line side is going to be on the top, so the line side is going to enter on the top of the disconnect. That's where your main service coming from the meter is going to land, and your load side is going to simply land on the bottom of the disconnect. So main reason that this disconnect is in place is simply because my panel is more than 5 feet away from the actual meter base. So the rule states that if your panel is more than 5 feet away from the meter base in Ontario, you have to replace it. You have to put in place your disconnect. That's the reason why the disconnect is here. So always make sure to double check your code book in order to obtain these rules and pass your inspection with flying colors. This is the part where most people will get dinged on, not bounding the connectors and so on. So as you can see, I'm going to bound off my connectors, and then I'm going to take that wire, that ground wire, and I'm going to go onto the back of the panel where the ground bar is, and simply place my ground wires into there. Now the neutral cables is going to be different. The neutrals are going to land on a different bar. As you can see, my cables are already identified as red, blue, and black. So simply taping one of those colors, white, will ensure that you have the proper white cable. Also, don't forget to wring your cables out to make sure that you do have the proper cables going on to the proper lugs. This setup is simply to ensure the safety of others. So with the blue cable being labeled, the red cable being labeled, and me identifying my white cable as the other line is going to ensure that there is no misunderstanding when it comes to crossing cables at the other side of the panel. Key to passing inspection. Here you can see I have a beautiful setup. The line side is already tied in and I'm working on the load side. Just remember, load side is on the bottom. You cannot cross any of your cables inside of the main disconnect when it comes to line and load. So line comes in from the top, load comes in from the bottom. Always remember to phase your neutrals to identify your wires as stated in the code book, which is a rule that's meant to be used. So this is basically how your setup should look when you're all finished with your main disconnect. Your line comes in from the top of the disconnect. You should have your main neutrals tied on to the bar, separated from your grounds. And also, you should also have your ground and bushings and so on, ground clamps and so on when required by code. Now, because this is the kind of cable I've used, which is a tech cable, it has aluminum sheeted cable on the inside, and for that reason I'm using my ground clamps and so on to protect the cables. This 400 amp service is also a fusible 400 amp disconnect. Fusible meaning once I turn on my main service, which will be the disconnect, if anything goes wrong, it's going to hit the fuse first. So always remember, when you're doing a 400 amp service, has to be a fusible service. Also, strapping down my cables will be part of my inspection. So in order to pass my inspection, my cables has to be strapped down according to the code also. So clips will go on to these cables in order to secure them properly. These sets of cables that were used were 250 kc mil tech cable, aluminum cable were used. Reason being is copper is more expensive than aluminum, and aluminum works the same as copper, does the same job. Only thing is aluminum is much easier to work with when it comes to bending the cable and so on. Copper is a lot harder to work with. And now we come to the 400 amp panel, which we've landed here. We've landed our cables inside of the panel, and again, I'm going to be phasing my cable in order to make sure that my white stay consistent throughout the run. Identifying my white cables is important, so I have to identify these cables with white tape. Again, that is part of the code rule. It is in the code book, and it states to identify all conductors that are white that are not identified. So in order for me to pass my ESA inspection, these white cables have to be identified. So in order to identify them, I'm simply going to use my white tape, identify my cables, and tie them into the main lug, which will land on the neutral bar. I've also left these cables a little bit extra long. Reason being is once I do go to land my cables where they are going to be landed, I'm going to cut back what I don't need. All of this cable is not needed, so I'm going to pay attention and make sure that I tape all of my wires accordingly, and then I'm going to cut them back. This is how your panel should look at the end of the job. Presentable to pass inspection, labeled properly, all breakers installed, and so on. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. Make sure your notification is turned to all. Make sure you stay tuned to my content, and also don't forget, I'm going live on Tuesday. Also, don't forget to click the video that's coming up next on the screen.